All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we're going to move past all the fluffy, feel-good ideas about self-love and get into something way more real, something you can actually use. It's a concept called self-outlook, and it's all about learning to love yourself without, completely losing touch with reality. And this quote it hits, right? Maybe you've had that moment too. The one where you realize all the easy, Instagrammable answers just aren't working anymore. It's that moment life hands you that unfiltered mirror, and you have to really, truly look.
And that's exactly what this is all about. We're going way beyond the motivational poster. We're going to explore a really honest, practical approach to how you see yourself. It's this idea of self-outlook. So let's start with a pretty big question, and I want you to just sit with this for a second. How you see yourself, well, that sets the ceiling for literally everything else in your life. So when you get quiet, when you're being honest, how do you really see yourself? And that question leads us right into the heart of what we're unpacking today. What even is self-outlook? Let's get a clear definition.
Okay, so here it is. Self-outlook isn't just a mood or a feeling. It's your entire inner stance toward yourself. It's the whole package, your beliefs, the tone of your inner voice, the expectations you hold, the boundaries you set. I absolutely love this phrase. It's the climate inside your chest. Think about that. It's not today's weather. It's the overall climate you live in.
And it's so important to be clear on what this is and what it isn't. This is not an ego trip. It's about having sober accuracy, seeing yourself clearly, but with compassion. It's not about mindlessly chanting affirmations. It's about holding yourself accountable, but with tenderness. And maybe most importantly, this is a process, not a mood. It's not something you have to feel all the time. So how do you actually do this? Well, it boils down to this really simple 3-step practice. First, honesty. Just admit, okay, this is where I'm at. No judgment, no sugarcoating. Then comes compassion. Of course I'm here, given what happened. You give yourself that grace. And finally, you make a choice. What's one kind thing I can do next? Not fix everything, just one thing.
And if you're wondering what a healthy self-outlook sounds like on the inside, this is it. This is the mantra. I'm not perfect. I'm not a problem. I'm a process. It's so simple, but so powerful. But look, any path worth taking has its ups and downs. This isn't just a magical fix. So let's get real about both the incredible rewards and some of the tough realities of this journey.
So, the good stuff. What's the payoff? We're talking about real clarity. You finally know who you are. You learn to set what the source calls boundaries without theater. No drama, just clear lines. You build genuine resilience. You develop a kind of sane ambition. And maybe best of all, you actually get better at loving other people. But you gotta be ready for the challenges too. Sometimes, as you change, you might feel a bit of short-term loneliness. You might have to grieve old versions of yourself. And yeah, those new boundaries, they can cause a little conflict. The key is to see these things not as signs you're doing it wrong, but as mile markers showing you're on the right road. Okay, so knowing those challenges, how do you stay on the path? Well, let's look at a little roadmap of what to watch out for. We're going to cover 5 super common traps that can easily pull you off course. Let's run through these quickly. First, perfection as penance. That's the trap of thinking you have to be flawless before you're allowed to feel worthy. Then there's spiritual bypass, using good vibes only to avoid feeling real pain. External scoreboard, that's chasing likes and promotions for your self-worth. Hyper-independence is that tough guy, I don't need anyone's shield. And finally, trauma time travel, letting past wounds dictate your reactions today. Just knowing these exist is a huge step. And I just have to pause on this one for a second. Hyper-independence is not strength, it's a tourniquet. Wow, what an image, right? It might stop the bleeding in a crisis, but it's cutting off the circulation you need to actually heal. Okay, so we know what self-outlook is, and we know what traps to avoid. Now for my favorite part, the practical, hands-on toolkit you can start using right now. First up is the boundary script, and honestly, this is a game changer. It's a simple little formula. I'm not available for X, I am available for Y, and if Z happens, I will do W. It takes all the emotional drama out of it and just makes your boundaries clear, simple, and about your own actions. Next, we have the 3-lens audit. Think of this as a quick 30-second check-in. Lens A is your body. What are you physically feeling? A tight chest? Butterflies? Lens B is your belief. What's the story running through your head right now? And Lens C is your behavior. What's one small supportive thing you can do? It's a fantastic way to get grounded. Ed, this one is for all my fellow overthinkers out there. You're gonna love this. Instead of fighting that critical inner voice, just label it as one part of you. So instead of "I'm going to fail," it becomes "a worried part of me thinks I'm going to fail." See that little bit of distance? It changes everything. And once you've labeled that part, you don't try to kick it out. You negotiate. You can say to it, "Look, I hear you. Thanks for trying to protect me. You can ride in the car, but you're not driving. You're the one in control, but you're not at war with yourself anymore."
Okay, that was a lot of information, I know. So let's bring it all home and make it super, super simple. Let's talk about a plan you can start today.
Here it is, your 15-minute tiny plan. First, just take 2 minutes of stillness. Feel your feet on the floor. Then, write out one boundary script for a situation that's bothering you. Pick 5 values that matter to you and just one tiny action for each. Send one honest text you've been avoiding. And tonight, do a 5-brick journal. Write down 5 small things you did today that built a better foundation. That's it. So doable, right?
And this really is the key takeaway, maybe from this whole thing. This journey isn't about some massive overnight transformation. It's not a light switch moment. It's about changing your trajectory, setting a new course, one small, honest step at a time.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's not about becoming some perfect new person. It's about the journey of becoming the you that is slowly, and yeah, maybe a little stubbornly, becoming true. And really, what could be more important than that?